Welcome back, everybody. Well, we're back out here in the shop, out here with our charger today. And we made great progress yesterday with our O2 sensor bung install. And I just want to add to that from yesterday before I get into what we're going to do today. So I came out and wanted to clean up behind the engine and clean any little areas up because we're going to do a leak detection test. We got an oil leak. So it's great to have everything running on the car, making all this progress, but what's not great is when you park it and you got an oil stain on your concrete and it's obviously getting worse. So I checked my oil. Well, I checked my oil and well, we were well past the full mark. So this is not an Exxon product. It doesn't make oil. So what was that? Well, just goes back to confirm how bad that O2 sensor was leaking and flooding this thing down with fuel. So I guess being that it's a big block and has so much torque, it didn't act crazy, it didn't burn our eyeballs, but it was bad. This thing had so much fuel in the oil that we had to drain it. And I usually keep AMSOIL in this car, but I didn't have a AMSOIL, so I went down to our awesome O'Reilly Auto Parts right here in town, and I got some Royal Purple 10W30. This should suffice for this winter. So we're gonna put the oil in this thing and get it back full, but I just want to go back and revisit and just tell everybody, whether you got a carburetor or EFI, when you start checking your oil and you're making oil or you're not making oil, more likely you're introducing fuel into that thing. So, you know, that's always a good indicator. Go and check that oil. So, after we get the oil installed in the car, we're gonna go ahead and start our leak finder. I've used this different stuff before, but I got this from Amazon, and I've had really good luck with these little kits like this. So, we're gonna get the batteries, and it comes with a little light, the glasses. We're gonna add, after we put our oil in, we're gonna add this leak detector stuff, and then we're gonna shut the lights off. We're gonna use this light and our glasses, and we're gonna see, just to verify where I think it's coming from, we'll put it back on the lift and see where this thing is leaking, so you guys can see how this thing works. All right, so I put 4 quarts in. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put one of these tubes in. It says right here, it services 1 vehicle. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this whole bottle in before I continue adding oil to the engine. Okay, here's an update. So as far as the light with the kit and the glasses, this is a dud. This thing did not work. We thought maybe the batteries were bad in this kit. We put another set of batteries in this thing. We put them in every which way but Sunday, and this is a no-go. No worky. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, folks, this light is a dud. We tried 2 sets of batteries in this thing. Nada, zilch, nothing. However, I did have another light for a kit that was made for this, and this one, as you can see, is very good. So we just put batteries in it. So now, we've got our dye in. We got to crank this girl up. We got our oil in. We're full. Got our 7 quarts of Royal Purple in. I'm going to take this thing out for a little drive, get it nice and warm, do a little spirited driving, and then we're going to put it back on the lift and see what we can find. Folks, look at the dye inside the throttle body, inside the sniper. All that is oil dye. It's not where we thought it was coming from. It's all over. If you look at this is the top of the intake manifold. I know you can't see the engine. We'll turn the engine on in a moment, or the lights on in a moment. Look at all this. Look at all this oil. That dye is all over the front. It's inside the sniper. See if you get above, honey, on the, yep. That's all inside the sniper. So how in the hell did the oil get in there and over the top? Looks like we found it. It's spraying it up from the front of the valley pan, and it's going up and over, and it's sucking it into the intake, or to the air cleaner inside the sniper, It's pouring it all over the bottom of the intake, and it's doing a waterfall effect over the back. I thought that it was coming from the back, but it's actually migrating from the front, just like a waterfall. It doesn't do it unless I'm, you know, maybe at 2,000, well, probably 3,000 RPM or more, but it's a good leak. And it is up front, right here in that valley pan. Right there. Don't know if y'all can see this. I'm about to turn the lights on in a moment. But that dye is everywhere. Right up front. All right, lights are back on. So that dye and everything you saw, I hope the camera picked it up with the glasses that we put in front of the camera. Trish did a good job of actually putting these glasses in front of the GoPro and our fluorescent light. So that leak, all that dye, it's spraying up from the valley pan up front, and it's going up, it's going airborne, it's sucking it in through the air cleaner into the throttle body. It's all over the top of the intake, and that's why it's like a shelf. It's like a waterfall effect. It's going over the back of the valley pan, the valley plate, and leaking back down the bell housing. So it is not where I thought it would be. Unfortunately, it's still the valley pan, but it's the valley pan in the front. I thought it was in the back, but good Lord, that dye is a win, folks. So I hope I got something out of this, guys and gals. This dye is a really good tool for finding a leak. I wondered what some of the clattering was every now and then. Hell, it's freaking breathing all that oil into the throttle body. So yeah, it's all inside the air filter when you turn the light on in the dark. So wow, learned something on this. So where you may think it's leaking, you may want to use some of this stuff right here of your leak detection dye. And again, this is for oil, fuel, ATF, and power steering systems. You can put this in your power steering system if you want to find a leak. You put your transmission, and I know they also make it for AC systems. So leak finder, deal on the dye. The light that we bought with the kit, dud. But thankfully, Trish found I had a fluorescent light that I'd bought years ago, and we put batteries in it. It works like a champ. So anyway, guess what we're going to get to do? We're going to be putting the valley plate back on this thing. We're going to have to remove it. So if I remove all that stuff, I talked to Just Mopar Joe. He thinks I can probably remove it from the front. I really don't want to pull a cylinder head. Number two, if we're going to have to pull the radiator and everything out to slide that valley plate out, that's the time to go ahead and do the AC system. So CBF also offers the AC system that you can grow into the whole serpentine setup. So if we're going to tear all this thing down to get that valley plate off, which we're going to do, looks like I'm just going to go ahead and get the CBF AC system and the whole serpentine system to go ahead and put on this car. So lesson learned, before you start peeling stuff apart, do all the detective work as much as possible so you don't create more work for yourself like I've done in the past. So hope y'all got something out of this, and stay tuned. You're going to see a lot more happening here. So have a good weekend, everybody.